Good morning, Abundant Life Church. This is Pastor Chris, and today we're going to be in Romans chapter 13, verses 8 down through 10. I'm going to talk about my criminal past. I have gotten lots and lots and lots of speeding tickets. I don't drive that fast. I just always get caught when I drive fast. I remember the worst ticket I ever got. Not that I was driving fast, it was just the worst situation. It was, I was probably, 22 years old, working with junior hires at Los Gatos Presbyterian Church, and we were coming back from Disneyland on Highway 5 and got pulled over. You know what it's like to get pulled over with a van full of junior high kids? By the time we got back to the church, they were racing across the parking lot to their parents saying, "Guess what Chris did?" Are speed limits good things? Yeah, okay. Let me rephrase the question. Are speed limits necessary things? I think everybody is going to agree that they are. Okay? How many people break them? Yeah. We all agree that they're good and they're necessary, but we break them. In this passage today, Paul calls us to love one another. Right? The passage echoes what Jesus said about if we could just love each other, we would fulfill the very purpose of the law. We wouldn't need to have a law that tells us to behave ourselves if we could just love each other. Now, you're not going to find anybody disagreeing with that idea. We should love each other. But over the last 2,000 years, how have Christians gotten along? We ever had conflict? Have we ever had tension? So if everybody agrees that we should love each other, if everyone agrees that this commandment is good, then why aren't we doing it? Why do we have such a hard time treating each other with love? Paul says that love is the fulfillment of the law, and so that if we're going to obey God, we have to love each other. But we don't. If I can get my phone to work, let's look at verses 8 through 10 here. Let no debt remain outstanding except the continuing debt to love one another. For whoever loves others has fulfilled the law. The commandments, you shall not commit adultery, you shall not murder, you shall not steal, you shall not covet, and whatever other commands there may be, are summed up in this one command: love your neighbor as yourself. Laws are only meant for people who would break those laws. Traffic laws aren't for good drivers because good and courteous and sensible drivers don't need to be told, "Hey, let's stay off the sidewalk," okay? If someone is full of love, they don't need to be told not to steal. They're not going to steal. They don't need to be told not to murder. They're not going to murder anybody. They naturally won't do those things to other people. The law was given so that the Jews, when it was originally given, these Jews are wandering around in the desert for 40 years, and they're surrounded by nations that worshiped pagan idols. And the law was given so, hey, you stay away from these harmful pagan religions. Oh, also, you're camping in the desert for 40 years. It'd be good if you didn't kill each other. This is what laws were given so people would get along. And if we Christians were to act in love towards everybody else, towards believers and non believers, then we wouldn't need laws telling us how to get along with others because we do these things naturally and get along. There wouldn't be any more problems in churches. That's great. But let's deal in reality for a moment here. Conflicts among believers have plagued us for 2,000 years. And the irony is that if we all agree we should love each other, but we don't. So why don't we practice love in the church more than we do? I'm going to tell you a story right now, and I just want to give you fair warning. There's a good chance you have already heard this story because, well, here's the situation. Today's date, it is July 14th when I'm taping this. I have no idea when you're going to see this, but the sermon I'm working on for this coming Sunday is on love. It's on 1 Corinthians 13 and the need to love each other. And I'm debating whether or not to use this story, so you may have heard it twice. But in Maine, there's a town called New Sweden. And there was a church in New Sweden, and several people in the church got very sick. They had some meeting, they had, snacks, what have you, coffee, and people got sick at this. And people thought, well, it must have been food poisoning. Actually, police investigated. They found out that one of the men put arsenic in the coffee at church. It actually killed one person. It made 15 people sick in God's church. Think about that for a second. Somebody in a church tried to kill other people in the church. What has happened? If we all believe in God and we all love God and we're all following God, then why is it that we have such a hard time getting along? If we agree that we should love each other, then why don't we love each other? What's the thing that has stopped us from being loving as Christians like we're supposed to? What is that thing? Tune in next time and we will find out. Till then, have a great day.